Hello everyone, and welcome to this tavern of horrors known as the Bear Bar Tales. It is I, your teller of nightmares and cringe, the one and only Bear Bard. Today is an exciting time for this channel. As of the recording of this video, we have just passed 100 subscribers. We'll be doing a giveaway in honor of hitting 100 subs. The details will be at the end of this video. But this beautiful metal die set will be the prize. The hardest part about this giveaway is not keeping the set for myself. Keeping along with that, if you enjoy this kind of content, then hit that subscribe button. Every sub helps you focus on this channel and not the realization that we are all so small traveling on a rock at 67,000 miles an hour around a big ball of gas and fire in what amounts to a small fraction of a percentage of the universe. So, good times. With that, let's go ahead and get started with today's horror story titled, Older Player Blamed Me for My Generation's Issues. Hello, I'm 24 years old and currently have been DMing for about 3 years. I mainly focus on D&D 5e or Pathfinder, so currently I'm DMing for a group of 3, 2 of which are older than me by at least 20 years, and the other is my wife. So we'll call them Joe, Jane, and wife for the purpose of the story. One day, Joe came to my house for our usual game night, and suggested that we play Werewolf of the Apocalypse instead of D&D. I informed him that he'd have to GM since I don't know the system mechanics at all, to which he happily agreed with. So I built my character and we went off and played an amazing game that made me really love WTA. Seeing this, Joe invited me to play at his friend's house for a new werewolf game they're going to run, and of course I agreed, since I'd had so much fun playing it. Fast forward about 2 weeks and Joe calls me and says the game will be held that upcoming Thursday and to just meet him at his house so we can carpool over to his friend's house who lives about an hour away. I agreed. Fast forward again to Thursday and we meet up to do as we had agreed. Fast forward again to Thursday and we meet up to do as we had planned and head over to his friend's, let's call him Ben's house. I had met Ben before but only briefly beforehand during a big dinner my wife and I were invited to a few months back. Ben, who is just a bit older than Joe, invited me in no problem and showed me around, letting me see all of his swords and movie props he had collected over the years. Totally awesome so far and wonderful. Now a bit of small history. I was in the army for 3 years before getting out on medical discharge, and Ben was in the army for, well, a lot longer, but years and years ago, before I was even in the elementary school. So we had sort of a military bond with each other and swapped a few stories. Well, time came for character creation, so of course I eagerly got my pencil and paper ready. To my surprise, Ben did character creation a lot differently than how Joe showed me. So, of course, I was lost all the same. No matter, I thought to myself and listened. He wanted all of his players to play Silverfangs, which was fine by me, then proceeded to completely negate the rules of the character creation for the game and was telling me to put points in things my character didn't even have, then told me to take them away. Then told me to put the points into something else, then told me I was doing everything wrong. This is where things started to take a turn. Ben started going on and on about how my generation is full of pussy and entitled little shits, his words exactly. And, I quote, "You'll never be grateful for the things you have. Your generation is so spoiled and whiny. You never listen, all you do is cry." I bit my tongue and didn't say anything because I knew what he was saying didn't apply to me, since my parents are old enough to be his parents, literally they're baby boomers, and raised me to be a hardworking, strong-willed person who didn't want to accept handouts from anyone, and when I was younger, I had to work as soon as I could just to help pay bills so we can eat since my mom lost her job due to injury, and my dad's job got bought out and they cut his pay by half. So I just ignored it for the time being and let him rant. Back to the character creation. Of course, I was lost and confused, so I had a lot of questions, obviously, to which Ben was of no help answering and Joe helped instead. Ben, now at this point pissed off at me and my generation, decided it would be good to go on another rant, this time attacking me personally. "This game has a lot of roleplay and not much action in it. I know you aren't used to it at all since all you do is play 5th edition, but you're playing with adults now, and we like a good story. I know that may be hard for you to understand since your generation doesn't like to think, but try to keep up." To which I responded, "Yeah, that's how I like to play. Yeah, I mainly play 5th edition and Pathfinder, but I've played Cyberpunk 2020, Call of Cthulhu, Starfinder, and Vampire the Masquerade before, and all of those have a lot of role-playing in them, depending on who's running the game. I much prefer lots of roleplay over constant action." And of course Ben proceeded to ignore me and act like I was a child who did not know what he was talking about. Fast forward, character creation is done and we all gather our things to head over to another friend of Joe and Ben's house to play since it was a last minute change. We all get there and I instantly make friends with everyone there, especially since I 3D print and paint miniatures and everyone was super intrigued by that. A little while goes by and the game finally starts, and Ben is at the head of the table to GM. Everyone, there's 7 of us playing at this point, all of which are Joe or Ben's age, is being loud and talking over each other as Ben is trying to start off the game. And I'm just trying to listen, but I can barely hear a thing. Then everyone goes around the room saying their character's age. When it comes to me, I say Bjorn is 25 years, and Ben cuts me off with a, I said between 18 and 21. This is what I mean, your generation doesn't listen to shit. So I responded with, okay, he's 20. I couldn't hear you over everyone else being so loud. To which he responded, everyone else heard me, but of course the youngest of us can't. To which I responded back, my age doesn't matter. I'm sorry my time being in a tank in the army has left me with some hearing issues, but go on, let's start. Ben rolled his eyes and we began playing. The entire game, Ben basically ignored me and my character, and whenever it did come to me, I'd suggest something that us, the party, can do, and Ben would scoff a little, and move on to the next person. To which they would agree with me and suggest the same thing, and Ben would say good job to them. All in all, I was singled out by an angry, late 40s dude who didn't like my generation and took his anger out on me for just being born when I was, instead of welcoming me into the group. After Joe and I left, I explained to him that I won't be coming back to the table, and that Ben needed to get his head out of his ass and not be a dick, just because of someone's age, especially without knowing anything about them. Joe then proceeded to defend Ben and said, yeah, that's just how he is though, and we've all come to accept him for it. Ben's a dick, but he's a good guy. To which I respond with, to you maybe, but either way, I'm not playing at his table anymore. And Joe just said, okay. We drove to his house, then I left to my house in my car. After I got home, almost 2 a.m. at this point, I explained it all to my wife, and even she was shocked at the way I was treated. End to it all, my gaming group still continues to this day with my wife, Joe, and Jane, and it's still great as is. Well, if he isn't, get off my lawn, you damn kids personified. It's funny because the whole generational divide is both so true, yet so dumb. I've coached all level of youth/school sports, so I love to mess with my kids, especially a few years ago when all of the Tide Pod business, but that's where it should stay. Have some fun, rag on each other's music, then bond over it. Because at the end of the day, we're all the same. Everything one generation says about another was said or will be said about their generation as they age. The problem comes, especially when Ben decides he no longer likes OP and decides to be less than helpful. Now here's where I'll throw the normal warning of, we're seeing one perspective. With the format of these stories, we have to take the OPs at their word. We have to decide on the evidence that's given whether or not we have a reliable narrator. One thing I'll say is that it sounds like the rest of them realize this guy is a prick, but just let it go as they're longtime friends. Maybe he's really not that bad of a dude, and OP just had him on a bad day, but it's still lame that no one stood up for OP. If you have a dude that takes things too far, you gotta step in when he's going off on a kid. And on another thing, can we talk about how stupid this dude sounds when he hits OP with that macho line about how you're playing with adults now and we just like a good story? What is this, some high school locker room intimidation BS, but the nerds are the cool kids now? Just shut the fuck up and play. Go over expectations, but this weird nerdy trash talk is just dumb. I'm glad the game didn't ruin your relationship with the other two and you were able to keep playing. And now for a quick aside with our bear fact of the day. Did you know that bears have 2 layers of fur? A short layer of fur keeps the bear warm, and a long layer keeps the water away from the skin and short fur. Kinda cool, right? With that, however, I believe I'm gonna call it a day. Now, before I do my normal ending spiel, I wanted to seriously thank you guys for helping me hit 100 subs. I know this is still a tiny channel, but I've actually put a lot of work into this, and it's awesome to see that people out there are actually enjoying it and care about the channel too. In honor of hitting 100 subs, I wanted to do a giveaway. I went out and found this gorgeous metal dice set. Entering is super easy. You need to have this channel subscribed, then like this video and leave a comment below, telling me either your favorite TTRPG horror story, it can be good or bad, or your favorite class. Again, any TTRPG, just let me know which one it is. The post must also contain #BearBardTales. This is just to make it easier to pick a winner. And that's it. The winner will be selected on September 14th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in 2021. All the instructions can be found below, as well as the winner if it's past the due date. Now, with that out of the way, I seriously want to thank you guys again for the subs and also making it to the end of this video. If you like this type of content and you want to see more, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to join our growing community, you can join the Discord, the subreddit, or follow me on Twitter or Facebook. Links for all those can be found below. As always, if you have any opinions on this story today, please let me know in the comments below. For now, this has been the Bear Bard, and I'll see you guys next time.